Up to 300,000 boys and girls are sold in the United States every year, and many of them don't make it out of the industry alive. There are only 99 known survivors from the state of Texas in the last 20 years who've managed to escape sexual slavery. Melissa Woodward is one of them, even though one night when she was 14, she was burned alive and left for dead.
After 2 years of torture in different sex trafficking settings, Melissa made it out, but barely.
They took gasoline and set me on fire. I remember just looking down and it was just flames everywhere and I couldn't get it to quit. It hurt so bad. But that was his fantasy, was to see a child burned to death. So after that, I was no longer able to be used. The best thing for me was death, and actually I was hoping at that point they would kill me. But then I woke up, and I don't remember how many days later, but I woke up in a garbage can. That closed the door to the sex trafficking. Then I had a whole new set of dilemmas. How does a 14-year-old survive on the streets?
These street corners became my hangout. This is where I made my money, standing on the street corners and waiting for the next customer, waiting for my next John to come.
I just kind of thought I was an object. I just thought I was good for one thing. Everything was a fog. Everything was living in a haze. I did so much drinking and drugging that anytime I had a memory or a nightmare, I shoved a next needle in my arm. Then I was just really guarded. I didn't trust anybody, whether it was a man or a woman. I just didn't trust anybody, and became very, I was an outgoing introvert. I'll say hi, but, and I'll be your friend for a night. But past that, I just didn't develop relationships at all.
At 18, Melissa turned from prostitution to stripping and considered it a step up.
Oh my gosh, stripping was like so awesome to me. When I first stepped into the club, I was like, 90% of the time I get to keep my clothes on and I don't have to touch them. And they don't have to touch me. It was like, it would make my night if a guy tried to touch me because I was able to throw down with the best of them. I liked fighting. I liked fighting. That's why I went to jail 28 times by the time I was 25 years old. You just become so much of a shell, like you're just walking around. Like I had no feelings. I didn't know whether I should be loved. I didn't even really know what love was. Love was confusing. Is love pain? Is it, what is it? I didn't understand what most people understand about love and a good life and what's right and wrong, and I didn't even know half the things I was doing was wrong. I didn't live. I was sucking air, but I was not alive. I was dead on the inside.
Melissa Woodward joins us now for more of her story. Melissa, thank you for coming on the program with us
Thank you for
today.
having me.
A lot of people are very shocked by this story. Well, first of all, shocked by what's done to children. But second, I think a lot of people think of this as some international underground industry, but you say it's not.
No, it's happening right here in America, in our backyards, in our communities. There's 300,000 children a year who are sold through this, both boys and girls. The girls with the average age being 12 to 14 and boys 11 to 13.
Who's buying and selling?
Most people would think it's your common street thugs.
But the fact of it is it's very well organized crime. This is the fastest growing crime in America, and it's second only next to drug trafficking. So a lot of these men are in high, high standing businessmen. Was my case. You can take a 9-year-old virgin and sell her for $3,000 to $5,000. But then on the flip side of that, you can go onto different places like Backpage.com and buy a child for $40 and have her quicker than a pizza.
When you were in this situation, did you ever see law enforcement people come? Did you ever see anybody come to the places that you were at?
Yes, often.
Wow. One of the members of your own family sold you into this whole situation. Is that common for kids?
25% of the children sold through this are from a parent or a legal guardian.
Wow. How did that make you feel about your family? Even that doesn't seem like it was a safe place for you.
It wasn't a safe place. And these children so often, the reason why we have so many runaways in America is because the parents, the abuse they face at home, and they believe that the streets is better for them, and they're trying to escape reality from home. And then they get lured into this. Within 48 hours, 90% of children that run away are approached by a trafficker, and over half of them face sexual slavery.
Within 48 hours?
Within 48 hours.
I could see how the participation in that at such a young age really warped your image of yourself.
It does for me and all these other children. The thing about